علاش ما نتبدلوش؟ نعرفها البلاد هادية حاجة ما تبدل. علاش حاجة ما تبدلت من بكري؟ ما تافونسيوش توما. How many times did we find ourselves asking these questions? How many times did we hear these questions being asked in our surroundings? The thing is, these questions seem as marks of frustrations against our daily lives. The boredom. The problem arises when we think that it is more profound. It goes deeper in our identity. I've been looking into our history, the history of our country, and I found traces going back as far as the 15th century. For a certain period of time, I thought I was the only person concerned about that, but I was wrong. As I joined ISAC, I met a great group of young people who had the same concerns, who wanted to change things, who wanted a better country, who wanted to modernize our society. And so, before introducing change, we have, of course, to look for some reasons. So for the past 5 years, we tried to dissect that, to look into the origins. And as it appears to be, we are going through some kind of pattern. The Algerian society goes like, from a state of depression, they initiate change, they have the will of change first, they initiate change, for sometimes they succeed and they go back to depression. For other times, they fail and they go into a deeper state of depression. Why? For these past 5 years, as I said, we tried to find reasons. We've looked into our behavior, our parents, we looked history and sociology books. What we found, what we noticed, we had regrouped that in 4 major reasons. The first one, we all know that kind of guy, that friend of ours, who has a great laptop, but he is stuck with Windows XP. Or maybe an older version of the OS. Why? No matter what you offer, no matter what Microsoft releases, he is stuck with that OS. He does that for 2 major reasons. The first, safety. And the second, comfort. So unless he is guaranteed the same level of safety and comfort, he won't risk anything. And we think that, as a society, we behave as such. We are stuck with things as they are, and we will remain like that because we linger to a certain level of safety and comfort. Unless we are guaranteed the same level of safety and comfort, we won't risk anything. This kind of behavior is associated with men. It is mainly a male trait of character. Men, if they have some things going good, they repeat the same things. No need for major risks. And as society, we've been doing that for the past 5 centuries. We dismissed women from our society. Every civilization that rose into a greater state, they did that because of a certain set of innovations they did, for sure, but also because they offered women a more important state. Islam in itself did the same thing. With the Arabs, the Qurayshi people, used to bury the baby girls alive. But when Islam came, they forbid that. And they involved women in their daily affairs and more into society. at certain part of our history, we did the same thing. We created a great complicity between men and women, as for example during the revolution, the Algerian revolution, against the French colonial force. If you saw the Battle of Algiers movie, it is considered to be one of the greatest movies ever because it is a fictional movie, but it looks more like a documentary movie. Everything in the movie looks so real. And if you remember, there's this part where Ali Lapwand, before committing his first operation as a member of the Army of Liberation, he is asked to collaborate with a woman that he don't know, that he doesn't know. So he goes to the woman, she hands him a gun, and he is supposed to commit something against the police, the French police. Well, the gun doesn't work, and he feels betrayed. So he chases the woman, he finds her, and she tells him that they both were betrayed by their superior. It was a test. So they both run because they are being chased by the police, and they are rescued by another woman that doesn't know them. You see, it is only thanks to this great complicity between men and women that we were able to deceive the French army back in the days. But why did we lose that spirit? The second trait is the dishonest religious view of everything. As a society, Islam is taking great part of our identity, and that's great. It helped us achieve wonders. We created the Andalus. But what of now? Back in the days, you can ask your grandfathers and tell them what did they think about a religious person. They will tell you that a religious person was supposed to have a certain set of values. A religious person was supposed to have great knowledge in a diversity of fields, like medicine, for example. A religious person was supposed to be someone authentic and having only one word, was supposed to be kind and caring for everyone around. But what of now? What does your religion prove about you? You can take another example. Like, the majority of you are students. In attending your courses, you are supposed to be at some classes for a certain amount of time. Like, for example, you are supposed to attend algebra for the first year for 30 hours. 30 hours a year will guarantee that you have certain knowledge in maths. Every Algerian, the majority of Algerians, attend the Jumu'ah. It is a special prayer once a week. You go to the mosque, you sit there for 1 hour, and you listen exclusively to the teachings of one person, of the Imam. You have 52 Jumu'ahs a year. What is that giving to our society? The third point, fundamentalism. We all know that guy who says all the time that the country was better back in the days. He has his parents saying the same thing. They have their parents saying the same thing. Fundamentalism is a state of mind where you think that the world was created in a pure and good way. And since then, it goes downhill into decadence and degradation until the end of times. So the solution for the fundamentalist is to always go back to this original state where the world was created. It looks beautiful, simple, and great, but it is entirely wicked. No one can go back in time. You can't run against evolution. You see, the train of thought of the fundamentalists is destructive by nature. It can't allow creation. It kills creativity. Unless we change that attitude, unless we project ourselves into a better future, that better future won't exist. Fourth and last point is not entirely about Algerians. It's more global point. I think that every creation the humans came up with was intended for the sole purpose of connecting us more, of bringing us together. So, for that reason was created the wheel. For that reason, we shaped the weapons. For that reason, the early tribes hunted and farmed. So the tribe would prosper together and come closer. The demise of humanity comes from the moment this medium we created to connect us together becomes more important than the people we are connected to. It is the same thing that happens in relationships. The moment that the two people are more concerned about the love, about the connection itself, than the person they're connected to, this connection loses its purpose. So if you're not committed to life, you're not doing the right thing. We all brag as Algerians about the 1,500,000 people who died in less than 7 years for the country. We all brag about the 132 years of fight and resistance against the French, the sacrifices our grandfathers did for this country. But for what exactly when we say the country? What is this Algeria they fought for? Did they do it for the land, the mountains, the rivers, for the oil? Because another group of people came several years afterward and committed atrocities against the same Algerians themselves. And they said that they did it also for the country. So, which countries the both sides are on? For myself, I think that our grandfathers fought for us, for you, for him, and her. If it was for the land, they wouldn't care. They would have taken their families and went to some other place, as others did. But they stayed. They saw life in us. So unless we change our perspective, unless we work on the new Algerian rather than the new Algeria, we won't do anything. Having these four perspectives in mind, and being an active member in civil society associations and youth organizations, we tried to come up with an action plan that would ease the positive change in our society. So what we suggest is a 4-step action plan. First, we never mention change. We don't want things to change anymore. We want things to stay the same, but they will be positive. They will be great. Second, seek and track knowledge and education. Wherever you can find a piece of education that is useful for you or anybody you know, you bring it on and you put it to use. Third, responsibilize our fellow comrades. Give them something to work on. Fourth, and most important, acknowledge them as they are, fully, with their successes and with their failures. For a certain period of time, we thought that we did something great, something new. But I've been recently reading the book Flow from the writer Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, and he talks about the personal growth, the growing of the self. And he says that the self grows only when it seeks complexity, when it accomplishes complexity. Complexity is achieved through two ways. First, integration. It brings something new. And second, differentiation. It uses this new piece that it integrates to itself in a unique way proper to itself. With these two ways of work, if you try them not only simultaneously but in cyclic way, you will ensure not only your personal growth but the growth of society. So as a society, if we try that and we had great results putting these steps in our small organizations, youth-oriented organizations, if we try that, we only face two risks. The first, the similar satisfaction and content. If people feel good and complete about themselves, we will fall back in the first trap. We will stop purchasing new methods, new things, and new ways of seeing the world. The second is asphyxiation. If you close your borders, if you don't meet new people, if you don't seek new ideas, you will be smothered. Your ideas will die because you will keep on digesting the same ideas again and again. You can achieve something good for a moment, but if you keep on doing that, you can have anything but fresh or good or better ideas. We say that there is nothing to stop an idea which time has come. If you hear me today, whether you agree or not, if you care about the Algerians, if you care about people, about life in itself, you must know that our time has come. Maybe we won't change things, but I know for sure that we can achieve wonders. My name is Idar Sohaib, and thank you.